All right, we're back for our last video, and then you guys will be ready to do your assignments for this unit. So the next step in composing the business letter is to place a table listing the volunteer service background for our Alexander Lee Samaras. So a table is a collection of rows and columns, and the intersection of a row and a column is called a cell. And cells are filled with data. So the first step in creating a table is to insert an empty table into the document. When inserting a table, you must specify the total number of rows and columns required, which is called the dimension of the table. The table in our project has 3 columns. In Word, the first number in a dimension is the number of columns. The second number is the number of rows. So for example, if it says 3 by 1, then the table consists of 3 columns and 1 row. So the next step is to insert an empty table into our letter. We want to do this because our first column will identify our organization, our second will identify our primary responsibility, and the third will identify the term of service in years. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is go to Insert, and over here on the left we click on Table, and we'll do 3 by 1. Oops. Let me move there we go. And actually, while I'm thinking about it, and if you haven't done this, go ahead and turn on your your formatting sign so we can see what's happening. Go back here and do 3 by 1. Okay. Next step that we have to do is to enter data into the cells of the empty table. To place data in a cell, you have to click the cell and then type. To advance rightward from one cell to the next, you want to press the Tab key. Do not press Enter, and the reason for that is when you hit Enter, that is used to begin a new paragraph within the cell. So you see, if I hit Enter right now, I actually make the cell larger. Okay. So if I want to move, I just tab, and what I'm doing right now is tabbing. Okay. And what we've learned is that you, when you tab at the end, you actually create another column, and we'll talk about more of that in a little bit. Okay. So in the first cell, let's go ahead and make sure our cursor's in the first cell. You want to type the word organization, capitalizing O. In the second cell, and you can tab over, you want to type in primary responsibility, capital P, capital R, and tab again. And in the third cell, you want to type term, capital T, capital S for service, term of service. So now if we want to enter more information, we're going to go ahead and tab again, and that'll add another row. We're going to type branch, oops, center school district, tab again, and we'll type tutor. And again, to type 6 years. Another row pops up and we type Newton County Youth Groups. Teen Leader, 3 years. In our fourth row, we'll type Trenton Park District, special events vocalist, two years. And this will be our last row, and we'll type Schuyler Athletic Club, tab across, basketball coach, and tab across one more time, 4 years. Okay. Now we want to apply a style to our table. Word provides a gallery of more than 90 table styles, which include a variety of colors and shading. Table styles allow you to change a basic table format to a more visually appearing format. So in the first, so if you go to, we're going to choose our box, And up here on the right, you have the Table Tools option. So you want to go to the Design tab, which we're in. And the first thing we want to do is make sure that we uncheck the first column, because we don't want our first column to look different. Okay? So once we've done that, we're going to go ahead and go to our Styles More button. So this is our More button. Click it. And then over here on the second column over where it says Grid Table 6 Colorful Accent 1, that's the one that we're going to choose. Okay? So select that. And when you come off of it, there it is. Now we want to resize our table. So the table in this project currently extends from the left margin to the right margin of the document. What we want to do is we want each column to be only as wide as the longest entry in the table. So we want the first column must be wide enough to accommodate the words Newton County Youth Groups, and the second column should be only as wide as the title Special Events Vocalist, and so on. So we're going to go up here to click our table again to select our entire table. That's what brings up the Table Tools tab. Go over to Layout, and we want to click on Auto Fit right here. And we want to choose Auto Fit Contents. Okay. Now earlier I accidentally hit Enter, and you'll notice that left me with an extra space. So I have now deleted that so that my table is nice and neat and together. Okay. All right, so the next task is to change the alignment of the data in cells in the third column of the table. So first we have to select the column, all right? So we're going to be using a mouse, and what we're going to want to do is select our column. There it is. Do you see how I'm working hard to get my cursor to turn into a downward facing arrow? So that's how we choose our column. And if you want to choose it, you want to go ahead and select that column. Let me see what we want to do. Hold on. Oh, I just wanted to show you. I'm sorry. I was thinking, I forgot we weren't doing anything there. I wanted to show you how to choose a column. So you wait until your cursor turns into an arrow, and then you click it. And that's how you can do an entire column. All right, so now let's go ahead and align our data. The next step will be to change the alignment in the cells in the third column. So we are back to the third column thing. Okay. In addition to aligning text horizontally in a cell, so meaning left or right, you can also align it vertically within the cell, meaning top, center, or bottom. When the height of the cell is close to the same height as the text, however, these vertical alignments are not readily apparent. So let's go ahead and right up here in the alignment box under Layout, Table Tools, these are different alignments. So this would align top, center. Now we can, when we first create our table, it's left aligned, meaning it's flush or all the way over to the left side. In this letter, we want our table to be centered between the left and the right margin. So what we have to do is click our table move handle right here. That chooses our, or selects our entire table, then go home and center. And now we've got it centered. The next step is to insert a row at the top of the table because we want to place a title on our table. You never want to have a table that doesn't have a title. So I showed you earlier that we can insert a row at the end of the table just by positioning the insertion point in the bottom right corner and then pressing Tab. But you cannot use the Tab key to insert a row at the beginning or the middle. So what you need to do is position the insertion point somewhere in the first row. So I'm just going to stick it right behind the word organization. And then click on the Insert Rows Above button, which is in your Table Tools Layout. So we'll go over here to Layout, and you have Insert Above. And now you have one that's above. The row that was just inserted has one cell for each column. And it's a little dark, so let me show you. See how there's 3 columns in that one cell? But what we need to do is to create one single cell, and the reason for that is we want the top row to contain the table title, and that should be centered above the entire table. So we're going to click the Merge Cells button on the Table Tool layout. We're going to highlight that like it was and click right here on the Merge Cell button. And now you'll see that it becomes just one cell. And in there we're going to type Volunteer Service Background. Now you can also, as you can see, just so that you know, you can split cells and you can split your table up if you ever need to do that. When you added a row to the top of the table for the title, Word moved the bold format from the column headings, which originally were in the first row of the table, to the title row. Because you would like the column headings to be bolded as well, you'll want to select the row containing the column heading and then click Bold. So just like we did for the right here, we'll go ahead and select when it's the arrow and then we bold.
Ms. Green, can you contact 335402? Thank you.
Okay. So it's time now to add more text. Our table is now complete, but we need to finish a few more things. So we're going to position our insertion point on the paragraph mark that is below the table, and then press Enter one more time. So I'm going to put my insertion point there, press Enter, and type as you requested. Below is my availability by day, and then we want to hit Enter. We're going to press the asterisk key, so that would be Shift 8 as the first character on this next line, and press the space bar, and that will convert that, that will tell Word that we want to do a bulleted character and create a bulleted list. So now we'll start typing. Press Enter when we're done with the first one and type the second one. Be careful and watch your spacing. After the A period, M period, there are no spaces between that. When you get done, you can press Enter one more time, and that'll tell Word that you want to stop your bulleted list. With our insertion point positioned on the paragraph below the bulleted list, we want to press the Enter key and then type the paragraph that I'm going to show you. And this is where you would put in your building block. Now, my building block has disappeared because I didn't do all of this at one sitting. So at this point, you would type WVF and you would hit F3 and it would pop up. You'll see that mine says the specified text is not a valid building block name. That's because it has gotten rid of it. So you need to do WVF and then hit W3. I'm going to go ahead and type it out. When I get done typing my paragraph, I will hit enter. Hit enter one more time. And I will tab. And you remember that went over because I had my tab set up here from earlier. Okay, so then, and in between sincerely and your name, you enter 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tab again, and then you're going to type our author's name. We will want to go ahead and save our document at this point, so go ahead and click Save. And the last thing we're going to have you do is print an address that you can put on the envelope. We won't give you, I'm not going to give you an envelope right now to do this with, but I want you to know that this option exists. So you can, with Word, print address information on an envelope or on a mailing label, and we all know that computer printed addresses look much more professional than handwritten ones. So when you all are trying to apply for something, you need to go with a computer printed address. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to select the inside address, which is Miss Lucy Song, who it's going to. That's your inside address. Then you want to go up here to mailings and then click on envelopes. Okay. It automatically, Word automatically put our inside address and the delivery address, and so now what we have to do is put our return address. So we'll put Alexander. And at this point, you would go ahead and print, and that will put Miss Lucy Song here and Alexander Samaris's address up here. So then we would go ahead and print. So you can, and we can, well, actually on the preview it doesn't give you much. So if you would like to try and print, you can do that. Otherwise, you do not have to do that for me. All right, that is the end of this video and of this unit. You've been given all of the information that you will need to go ahead and begin your assignments. Thanks for listening.